Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and finish this up. We've got number 14. And number 14 says, Miss Fehlbaum spent $90 at the mall. She began with $150. What percent of the $150 did she spend? Now let's break down what it's asking, because immediately I know it's saying something about percent. So we're going to have to break this down. Part, whole. Okay? So I know it says, I always want to start with what I'm trying to solve, right? It says, what percent of the 150 did she spend? Now, if it's asking for a percent, it's never asking for whole, right? Percent is not the whole. So that means that I'm solving for percent of the 150 did she spend. So what percent did she spend? I'll say the percent that she spent, okay? So X is going to represent the percent that she spent, right? And then if I break down the problem further, it gives me two other pieces of information. It says that she spent $90 and she began with $150. Now, if I look at $90 and $150, it says she began with $150. That I'm going to say is my whole. That's what she started out. That's the original amount. And remember I said if you ever can say original or total or, you know, at some sort of at the beginning, that's your whole. So 150 is what she brought to the mall. That's the amount of money she had originally. It also says she spent $90. That's my part, okay? $90 is what she spent. Now, if you look at your P's, right, this is the test. If these two P's match, then you can go ahead and set up your proportion. So this says $90 she spent. X percent is what we're trying to find of what she spent. Do these match? Yes, they do. So that means I can go ahead and set up my proportion. Okay? I always know it's part over whole, a percent out of 100%. And now I can just go ahead and plug those in. So $150 is my whole. Don't know what percent, and she spent $90. Alright, so again, I told you with regards to 150 and 100, you're always going to find the bigger number and divide that by the little number. So 150 divided by 100 gives you 1.5. That's your scaling factor. Now, we don't know if we're multiplying or dividing yet, so let's figure that out. So I'm going toward the X always, because that's what I'm trying to solve. So that means I'm going to draw my arrow toward 100. Now if I look at the numbers that I have down here, if I'm going toward 100 from 150, that means I'm going to a smaller number. So that means I need to divide on the bottom and on the top. So numerator and denominator. So if I do 90 divided by 1.5, I get X is equal to 60% is what she spent of her original amount of $150. Okay? So let's move on to number 15. Number 15 says Miss Barra ran 10,560 feet. Mr. Boyce ran 4,400 yards.